You know, one of the things I've learned is you got to do face masks, right? I'm going to take this off. It's kind of difficult, right? Communicating with your customer behind a mask can be a challenge on occasion, but you got to be able to do it, right? And think about how this whole environment has changed things. I mean, look at medical consultations right now. Look at the fact that telemedicine, which has actually been around a long time, it's not anything new, but it's actually becoming a whole lot more popular out of what? Out of necessity. So what if we could flip the script on this, right? What if we could change, instead of online medical consultation, we now all of a sudden are doing online HVAC consultation. Mr. Simmons out there on the call has been asking already on our texting about this whole virtual sales call, virtual service call concept. And it's a real thing. I mean, imagine that you could solve a good number of problems with your customers virtually, right? And help maintain the social distancing that we really need to do to help get on top of this whole COVID-19 thing. Well, guess what? It's not just about COVID-19. Consumers are genuinely concerned about having people in their home, whether there's a virus attached or not. They just are. People are scared to be ripped off. This is an example, actually, of a contractor's website in Atlanta, Georgia area. And actually this guy attended a little get together. We had a coffee with Dave on Thursday morning. And I had a very progressive Goodman territory sales manager who said, I'd like to get together with a bunch of my guys and let's just have a get together and talk about challenges that they're facing here locally in the state of Georgia, where we're both located. And so we got together, and this particular contractor was on there, and we were talking about how he's handling virtual services, right? So he's got a little video. This is his son who tells a little bit about it. You click on schedule today and you get two choices. So go ahead and click on that real quick, Ben. First choice is you could get a virtual service technician. And what's cool about this is they're getting 39 bucks to initiate a virtual service call with a technician. And if you'll notice, this would be a simulation of the screen for their phone or their iPad. And it says, it's got a link to the little instructions that Tom's son talks about, the process there. And then there's a link at the bottom that says Zoom. And all they got to do is click that link and automatically connects them to a service technician. And they take them around the house. They go check the switches on the thermostat. They go see, they do what diagnostics they can do with the assistance of the consumer. Now, if they find that they need to do something, like let's say we got a bad capacitor, obviously you're not going to figure that out by just using a Zoom, but let's say it's clear that there is a technical issue where a technician needs to be there, they'll actually apply the $39 to the service call fee itself. So they still get to go out, but they have proven already to the customer that they're thinking about the consumer and trying to make it simple. They can also do a virtual sales call. So they have a virtual HVAC replacement specialist. And, you know, we've all had the question, how much is it going to cost to put in a 3-ton split gas electric system in my home, right? So here we can begin the process. That's not necessarily that you're not necessarily true that you'll be able to sell the whole thing, but you'll at least be able to get a good start. And if you just answer the call and say, no, I can't give you a price over the phone, you're dead. You're just dead, right? I watch Shark Tank a lot. And if you watch Shark Tank, there's a guy named Mr. Wonderful, right? And when Kevin sees something he doesn't like, he just says, you're dead to me, right? Well, that's what your customer's saying when you say no. And I know from Power Selling Pros training, no is not a proper answer. Don't tell them what you can't do, tell them what you can do, right? And that's what we want to do when we're talking to our consumers today. So this is some innovative ways that guys are using technology to apply to solve issues that customers are having today. And if you think about it, I mean, we can't possibly fix everything virtually, but we get really close to getting there. And one of the things that we want to do is help you guys understand that when it gets time to go back out there and start measuring, because we're not going to get a customer to do static pressure test on their system. That ain't happening. They're probably not going to have a hygrometer where we can go in there and check the wet bulb and dry bulb temperatures coming off the equipment. They're not going to have a set of refrigerant gauges. They're not going to have any of that stuff. but we can get close to helping them understand what a valuable partner we are. So pieces to the puzzle is what we're trying to put together here. Again, want some good reading on this topic? There's a great article in this month's edition of HVACtoday.com magazine that talks about virtual service calls. And we've got guys that we talked about in the article that are all about doing virtual service calls even before this COVID-19 came out. This was published before the virus stuff hit. So